So in my free time, I like to exercise. It's always been a stress reliever for me. It's something I've always done. I run. I can always just throw on my running shoes at any particular time and go out the door and head out for a run. Often I'll take my dog with me, and that's fun. We run down to the dog park. She plays around and tanks up on some water, and then we run back. I've recently taken up, in the past couple of years, jiu-jitsu, which has been fun. I started in my kids' martial arts school. I decided I don't want to see them have all the fun. So at 51, I started jiu-jitsu, and that's been, in addition to being a great exercise, it's been a lot of fun. There are a number of older folks who are doing it, and it's been a nice group of people, everybody there, not just the folks who are 45 plus, but it's a nice bonding experience, and it's just been a lot of fun for me. I did mess up my finger, but other than that, it's been a really positive experience. Hi, my name is Tom Spiggle. I'm founder of the Spiggle Law Firm. I wanted to become an attorney. I initially really liked the intellectual aspect of it. I enjoyed the mental challenge, making arguments. I enjoyed reading. I enjoyed constitutional law, all those sort of issues dealing with government. And I liked the fact that it was sort of philosophical, but with a practical aspect. Really got a training and an education on how things really work. I wanted to get into employment law really for a couple of reasons. One, again, there were a lot of moving parts in employment law. Each area of law is unique, but employment law is particularly challenging because not only do you have state law, you have federal law, you have constitutional principles, you often have local ordinances, and all kind of mixed together. So it's a really challenging puzzle piece. And then also for the people who are facing issues at work, because it's a complicated puzzle piece, they're often, even if they're otherwise very smart people and accomplished in their own right, at sea with how to handle these issues, what to do, what's the best next step, and they're dealing with their employer who likely has their own attorney that they're working with. And so I really enjoyed being able to help the underdog, help give people the answers that they needed to really have an impact on their life. I love being able to help people and empower them. That's my favorite part about practicing employment law is really, they come into our office or they'll talk to me or one of the other attorneys, and they've got this big problem related to work, and they come out of our office with some new hope, with a plan, with an understanding of where they what possibilities lie before them or what avenues are available for them to take, and really being able to counsel people through what they want to do to get to their next best step, because that's an individual answer. How far do you want to take this? What avenues do you want to explore? What will help address where you are with this issue? Often people are bewildered, they are angry, they are depressed, and to give them a real sense of agency and the fact that they can step forward and change some of that is very empowering, and I love to give people those tools. I had a case, I've had a number of really impactful cases, but probably one of the ones I remember distinctly was a woman she's a high-level recruiter for a local not-for-profit. She'd been doing really well at her job for a number of years, and she had her first child. And when she came back from work, all the things that she had done before all of a sudden weren't good enough for her male boss. And this really sort of, when she came into my office, like she felt like the writing was on the wall. She had not been fired yet, but she'd been given a negative review. Even though, again, she had done the same things that she had always done, so it was clear, and he had made some comments to her, to the effect of, sort of reading between the lines, that like he didn't think she was as committed as she was before because she wasn't working the exact same hours, because she left work at a reasonable time to be able to go home to be with her child, even though she was continuing to perform at a very high level. And she, she just looked like she had been through the ringer. She was pale. Her lips were dry and cracked. She could barely, look you in the eye, even though she was a very accomplished professional. And through the course of representing her, we were able to get her a good severance that got her, a cushion, a financial cushion to be able to move on to her next job. And she did. She went on and she found a very good job that respected her for who she was, didn't discriminate against her because she had a child, and she performed very well there. But what I distinctly remember is when she came back into my office to pick up some of the paper file that I had now that her case was over, and she looked like a completely different person, like she had been let out of prison. She was cheerful, she was happy, she looked healthy. It was really amazing to see the physical change that had occurred to her over the course of that process. And it really impacted me because even though I intellectually understood the impact that these sorts of issues have on the people that we help, to see that sort of physical representation of it in such a drastic way made me realize like how much difference this can make in people's lives. I love the challenge of the Spiggle Law Firm. I think I like first and foremost the people that work here. We have, it started with just me and a laptop with a cracked screen and one desk chair, to the point where we've grown to 40 plus employees. We've got employees all across the globe in different states, and of course a number here in Virginia. And it's a really great group of folks who we're all committed to the same mission, to see people be able to come into their own here, and in a really supportive place to work is one of my favorite things about what we do. And then of course the people that we help continues to be something that's very gratifying to me. One of the things I've always been able to do is continue to try to up-level my experience, to continue to try to make my situation better. For instance, I did my first year of law school at the University of Oregon for a number of different reasons, and decided I want to come back to the East Coast and apply to transfer, which is hard to do in the middle of law school. I mean, you've just finished your first year. It's essentially you're restarting the application process all over again. So it's a tremendous amount of work. So I did that, and I transferred from the University of Oregon to Georgetown University Law Center. And so I think those types of experiences, and just continuing to, when you see an opening, it's almost kind of like rock climbing, right? When you see that next handhold, when you see that next ability to move forward, you do the work and you take it. I've never been one to say, well, this is just my lot in life, and so I'm going to stay here. And so I think that experience, putting in the work, taking the time, transferring to a different school, has really served me well throughout my professional career, because I've continued to try to do that, develop myself, follow what I want to do, and if I need to veer right or veer left, to course correct to get to where I want to go, I've been willing to do that.